Hello students, welcome to Career Forum YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to discuss questions based on grammar rules. Students, the topic that comes in your exam is known as error detection or error spotting. In this question, you will be given a few sentences containing some sort of grammatical error, and examiner will ask you to rectify those errors. So basically these errors are related to parts of speech. Okay, it's related to parts of speech, tense and articles. Okay, this part of speech comprises 8 topics which we are familiar also. Okay, which we are already familiar, like the topics are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, okay, this is C, and interjection. So usually we have these 8 topics in this part of speech, then tense and then articles. So these 3 are the most important topic to solve error detection questions. Okay, students, to spot error you need to take a systematic approach. Okay, if you count on spotting the error just by simply glancing over the sentence or by looking for sections that sound weird, you will definitely miss the error. Okay, so important is to have a very systematic approach. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about the most effective approach to solve these questions. So what we need to do is to read the sentence carefully. Okay, so first you need to read the sentence carefully and then try to look for error in each of the segment separately. Okay, apart from this, the most important thing a student need to do is to have a good command over English grammar. Without a sound knowledge of English grammar, you will not be able to solve questions of error detection. Okay, so now let's start with some questions so that you can understand the approach which I have just mentioned you. So here is the first question. Okay, so the first question says, Roma danced in the college function elegantly yesterday. Okay, so here in the given sentence, danced is verb, this is your subject. Okay, Roma, where she danced? In the college function, so this is used as place. Okay, here we have elegantly, this shows you the manner, how she danced elegantly, so this is called adverb of manner. Okay, this is adverb of manner. And when it was on yesterday. Okay, so yesterday she danced, so this is time. Okay, so according to the rule of adverb, there is a rule called MPT. This is one of the most important rule of adverb, and it says that manner should be used first. Okay, so the word that tells you about the manner should be used first, and then what? Then place, and then time. But in the given sentence, you can easily say that here we have this verb. Okay, elegantly is here and yesterday is here. So the error lies in C part because this has to be before place. Okay, so the error lies in first part. But let me explain you this with another example. Suppose we have a sentence, he drove the car carefully. He drove the car carefully on the highway last night. Okay, suppose we have this sentence. Now look at the rule. So the rule says we need to place manner first, then adverb of place, and then adverb of time, right? He drove the car. How he drove the car? Carefully. Manner is placed before the place. This is the place where he drove on the highway. And when he drove the car? Last night. So the rule says that the adverb of manner should be used first, and then adverb of place, and then adverb of time. Clear? So this is how you have to identify error. Okay? Now let's move to the next part, next sentence. No sooner they had completed the work than they demanded the wages. Okay? So this is no sooner. This is again an adverb. So another rule of adverb says, this rule is of inversion. Okay? This is the rule of inversion, one of the most important rule of the adverb. Okay, so wait, this is one of the inversion. Okay, so according to rule of inversion, if a sentence starts with an adverb, the auxiliary and the subject need to change their position. Usually when an adverb is used before a subject, the structure of the sentence should be, first you need to write that particular adverb, whatever it is. So here we have no sooner. Okay, so write it down as such. Then you need an auxiliary. So what is the auxiliary given here? Had. Then subject. What is the subject here? It's they. Okay, so this inversion, this inverted structure is called inversion. Okay, and this is called rule of inversion. Whenever we use an adverb before a subject, the verb inverted itself and the auxiliary is placed before the subject. Okay, so here error lies in the first part. Clear? So let's move to the next sentence. Why don't you try this jacket on? It looks nice with your trouser. This is one of the easiest rule of noun. Why don't you try? So here we don't have any error. Don't, do, helping verb, auxiliary. You need try. Okay, verb in first form. Fine. This jacket on. This singular, jacket is also singular. Fine. It looks. What looks? Jacket. Looks. Singular verb, right? Nice with your trouser. The error lies in C part. We all know from the rule of noun that the words like trouser, spectacle, or tongue, etc. always take S. Okay, this has to be spectacles, trousers, and tongs. Fine. So you can easily spot error because here the word given to you is trouser. It has to be trousers. Okay, so the nouns like trousers, spectacles, tongs, glasses, pants, shorts, binoculars, these all are always used in plural form. Okay, and they also have plural meaning. Clear? Okay, now let's move to the next sentence. The next sentence is, I asked the salesman if I can exchange the faulty camera with another one. So here in the given sentence, I is your personal pronoun, then asked. The verb given here is in past tense. The verb given here is in past. Okay. So if your reporting verb in past tense, then the other verbs should also be used in same form. But here you can easily see we have can. So can shows you the present, ability in present. Okay. So this is absolutely wrong. We need the past of can, and the past of can is good. So the rule is whenever the reporting verb of a sentence is in past, every other action has to be in past also. Okay, all the other action will also be in same tense. So here can should be replaced with could. Clear? So now let's move to the next sentence. All team leaders are responsible for its team. They must report to the race marshal by 9 o'clock. Okay. So the here subject is what? All team leaders. The given subject is plural. Leaders, team leaders. So the verb should be in same form. That means plural. The verb has to be plural. It's fine. So this segment is alright. Responsible for its team. Who are responsible for the team? Leaders. So if we have a plural noun here, then the pronoun itself has to be in plural form. But here it is its. Wrong. This is singular. We need what? Their team. So who are responsible? All the team leaders. So this it should be replaced with their. Am I clear? They. This is your clue. They is for again whom? This is for leaders. So be specific with this rule, because antecedent of a noun should always be respective to the noun or the subject given to you. So pronoun must agree with its noun. Clear? Okay. So let's move to the sixth sentence. Neither my mother nor my father know that I am getting married. Okay? Wow. What a good sentence. Neither my mother nor my father. Both the subjects are in singular form. Okay? Know that I am getting married. According to the rule of subject-verb agreement, when two singular subjects are joined by either or, neither nor, or not only but also, the verb should always be used in singular form. So no here is incorrect. No is plural. We need to replace it with singular form. That is knows. Okay. Let's say the sentence was like, suppose neither my mother nor my friends. Let's say here we have friends. So in case if you have a plural subject and a singular subject connected by either or neither nor, the verb should always be respective to the subject closest to it. So for the case friends, the verb has to be know. But now we have both the subject in singular form. Hence the verb has also to be in singular form. Clear? Okay. So let's move to the next sentence. If the wealthy and educated wish, they can change. This sentence is wrong. Here we need to place change. They can change. Okay. They can change the face of the city in less than 5 years. If the wealthy and educated wish, they can change the face of the city in less than 5 years. So how many subjects are we talking about in the sentence? The wealthy and educated. But here article the is used with the fourth subject only. That simply means both the subject are talking about one person or one thing. That simply implies that all the wealthy are educated. But here we have this pronoun they. That simply means the sentence is talking about two different kind of people. Okay, two different subjects. So the first subject is wealthy and the other subject is educated. So if we have two different subjects, then article the should be used in both the subjects. Okay, so here we also need article the. The sentence should be like, if the wealthy and the educated wish. So the error lies in B part. Okay. Okay. So the next sentence, because my eyesight is so terrible, so I have to wear corrective lenses to improve vision. Here our sentence is starting with a conditional clause, and that is because. Okay. So here we have because. Okay. So we have a conditional clause here. My eyesight is so terrible. And then again we have a condition here. So according to the rule of conjunction, if we have two conjunctions together in a same sentence, the one which is the most appropriate one will always be used and the other one will always be removed. Okay. So here we have because, which is giving the correct sense. Okay. So because my eyesight is so terrible, I don't need this so. I have to wear corrective lenses. You don't have to mention or write two connectives or two conjunctions together in a sentence. Fine. So because my eyesight is so terrible, comma, I have to wear corrective lenses to improve my vision. Clear? Two conjunctions should not be used in a same sentence. Fine. Next is, she is working hardly to finish the project by tomorrow. Oh, blunder is here. Where is the blunder? She is working. How is she working? Hardly to finish the project by tomorrow. Okay. So this word hardly is incorrect here. Okay. This has to be what? This we need an hard, which means rigorously. Okay. So whereas hardly means what? It means not at all. This implies a negative meaning, whereas the sentence demands this. She is working very hard. She is not working hardly. She is working very hard. She is working diligently to finish the project by tomorrow. So important is to notice the difference between these two. Hardly is a negative word which means not at all or almost no or nothing, whereas hard is an adjective which means rigorously or diligently. Okay. So here the sentence demands hard, not hardly. So the error lies in B part. Okay. So the error is in B part. Fine. Let's move to the next sentence. Anurag is eclipsed by his wife, who is cleverer and amusing than he is. Okay. This is an important rule of adjective. So here we are talking about whom? We are talking about Anurag's wife. And the two special traits of her wife are clever and amusing. When two adjectives qualify one person or thing, the comparative adjective should be used as more plus positive degree. Okay, this has to be more plus positive degree. So what should be the correct word here? More clever. When two adjectives qualify one person, okay, when two adjectives qualifies one person, both the adjectives should be in the form where the comparative word should be used as more plus positive degree. Okay, so the cleverer is need to be modified as more clever. Okay, suppose if we have a sentence like Anurag is more clever than his wife. Here in the given sentence, we have two people and one trait. Okay, we are comparing both using this trait. When we compare two persons with one trait, the comparative degree must be used. Here more clever is wrong. Here we need to write what? Cleverer. Here we need to write cleverer. But when two adjectives modify one modifies a person, then the comparative degree should be used as more plus positive degree. Clear? Well, this is all for today. In the next part, we will discuss with some more questions and with some difficulty, okay, so that you can have a proper level of questions, so that you can prepare for your exam in a very appropriate way. Okay, so if you feel this session is worthful to you, do subscribe our channel, like it and share it with your friends. Okay, thank you.